What is up, comic book fans? Thank you so much for coming to hang out with us on the Local Comic Podcast. This is a little bit of a public service announcement that what you're getting ready to watch does and will contain spoilers. We are talking about new releases. We are talking about books that have not been out very long, probably. And so if you are reading any of these series that we're talking about, they'll be listed in the description below. And you do not want spoilers, if you're not caught up, just give us a pause, go read that book, and come back and hang out with us. Otherwise, buckle up and let's talk some comics. What is up, comic book fans? Welcome back to the Local Comic Podcast. This is the Absolute Show, and we are back with you just like we are every week, bringing you all of the news and notes from the Absolute Universe in DC Comics. As always, it is me, your boy, Travie, TrekWars, and I've got my guy, my ride or die, Phil, Mr. Rebel Recess. How's your week, buddy?
Fantastic. We had some good books this week.
Yeah.
Mainly the one we're going to talk about. We're good over here, man. NASCAR starting up. What a time to be alive. You got your Blaney shirt on.
He'll wreck. He always wrecks at Daytona.
That's how your week is going, but I do think, correct me if I'm wrong, no Swamp Thing books this week, so this is a down week for you.
No, I'm going to Raw tomorrow. I had to save my money.
Yeah, you were grinding leading in. It's like this week I didn't get not one Swamp Thing picture.
No, not one Swamp Thing pickup at all. Yeah, we're going to Raw tomorrow night. They're going to be in Charlotte, and extremely excited about that. Have not been to a live pro wrestling event in 25 years. I counted. Went back.
Golly, I've never been to one.
Really?
Yeah, I need to go.
I think I was at 4 or 5. I went to 1 or 2 WCW events back in the day because they were all around North Carolina. And then we did a couple WWF shows, and one of them was pay-per-view. It was Unforgiven at the Charlotte Coliseum. So yeah, it was cool. It was right before they tore it down too. It wasn't too much longer before they tore it down. Yeah, so trying to save my money, not spending too much money, but did spend a little bit. Did you get anything cool this week?
It was not a lot, luckily, but I did get the regular weekly pickups. But thanks to you sending the middle of the night text, "Hey, you better get this book." And I wake up and I immediately panic. Oh, I better get this book, and it was scarce, but I did find a nice little copy.
Ooh, Legends of the Dark Knight. What number is that? Number
54.
Yeah.
It's a pretty book. I opened it up. The reason we bought it, you know why we bought it or why you told me to buy it. The artwork inside is amazing. But even as amazing it was, the best thing about the book that brought me joy was the back cover was an ad for Demolition Man.
Oh my God,
and
that is an all-timer.
It just took me back. So I'm like, I'm glad this book could bring me that little bit of joy.
Dude, I quote Demolition Man in my head weekly.
All the time.
Weekly.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Yeah. It never stops. Like, I don't think the Three Seashells lives rent free in my head constantly, of like Rob Schneider going, he doesn't know about the Three Seashells. Oh my God, it's so good.
But yeah, I mean this, and you got one too as well. It's in pretty good shape. It's not minty. There's like a tick or two on the side, and there's a little rub spot over here, right there. I don't know what that is. It was like someone dropped a mini cigarette on it. But other than that, it's great. So I'm glad for the shout out and you waking up to that, because I was able to get it. So thanks.
I also got a book this week, and it was also Legends of the Dark Knight, number 54,
Look at us.
Sanctum. I was very scared of this. So it's like you said, this book was not easy to get at all. Like,
there's none out there.
It's not expensive.
No.
It's just not easy to find.
I found a 9.8, which was out of my price range. But other than that,
graded?
I found... Yeah, graded at 9.8. And then there was another one in a lot that was more than I wanted. And then I found this one on Whatnot, and that was it. I could not find another one anywhere else.
Yeah,
I bought the other one.
Yeah, I had already gotten mine. Yeah, I got mine in a lot, and it was like 51 through 59. And fortunately got it for about $20 for the lot.
Deal.
Yeah.
Because the other lot I found with it was like 4 books for 50. Yeah.
Well,
you ain't getting me, dog.
Yeah, so I let's give some backstory here before we jump into this. So
How we got here? How do we
so
get to this morning text of me waking up to go?
it was early
go
in the
buy
morning too.
book?
It was like midnight, 1 a.m. Like it was early in the morning. I was not asleep yet, and you were. So there is a new. Anybody who knows me knows that I am a big time Hellboy, Mignola, anything Mike Mignola. I am all in on. And so there's a new documentary about Mike Mignola on Amazon Prime, and it's called Drawing Monsters, I believe is what it's called. But anyway, it's just basically talks about Mignola's career. It's got a lot of really good interviews with both his family and with major names in the comic industry, major names in the film industry. You know, Guillermo del Toro, Ron Perlman, those people that worked on the Hellboy movies. Got some cool Blade 2 stuff in there. I didn't know this until today that Mignola had actually helped a lot with Blade 2, with Guillermo del Toro and Blade 2.
I didn't know that.
Which I still say to this day, that movie was scary. Like that was like an actual horror movie. Like
it's great. It's in my top 100 films of all time.
Was that on your thing that you have on your profile?
It's in my top 100, baby.
Great movie. So it goes over like his entire career from from his childhood all the way to now, and talks about the Mignolaverse, which is pretty cool. And if anybody has never jumped into that, it's a serious jump. It's a leap, because it is a massive universe. Like on the documentary, and I'm sure that this has been backed up somewhere, but they said this is the single largest creator-owned universe in comic books. And after DC and Marvel, it's the Mignolaverse, and that's pretty wild. And considering it all came from a single source is pretty cool. And now if you've kept up with it through the years, it's moved on to other creators and other people that have started writing with his characters that he created, and it's just been a really cool thing to see. But if anybody doesn't know Mignola, he has a very unique style, and as you could see on the cover of that book, it's very heavy contrast, a lot of dark, it's as few lines as possible. And while I was watching it, they were talking about his first like works and stuff that didn't go well and didn't go great. And then somebody asked him to do a Batman book, Legends of the Dark Knight, and they said, we just want you to do the whole book like that. Like he had drawn, like I think he had drawn like a test something, and they were like, yeah, we want to just do the book however you want to do it. We just need you to do it. And it was pretty much the first time you saw Mignola draw that Hellboy kind of looking style, and like before that you had never really seen it all that much. There was one issue of Thor that wasn't mentioned in the show, but there was an issue of Thor that he drew some pencils on and looked similar, but did not have the heavy dark contrast like we're all used to. So if you've ever read Hellboy, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. His art is very, very, very striking, and you immediately know it's him when you see it. And so as I was watching it, I was like, oh, I don't have that book, and I know I'm pretty sure Phil might have it, but if he doesn't, he's gonna be mad if I don't tell him about it.
Yeah. Thanks for telling me.
Yeah, so the 1 a.m. Text, and I think you had it ordered by what, 7 a.m.
Confession, I was on the toilet when I purchased it, because the first thing I did, I get up, I go to the toilet, and I was on that thing and purchased it.
Yep. So we each grabbed one. Again, they are not. They feel like a book that you're gonna find in somebody's long box inventory, back stock, whatever, or you might even find one in a dollar bin somewhere. But if you're into that, and if you've never read Hellboy, you should read it. It's a masterpiece. I mean, it really is. It's one of the great comic universes. It's fantastic. So it's just cool to hear his peers talk about him and talk about everything he's done. And it's a great documentary. Please go watch it. It's very cool. It's called Mike Mignola, Drawing Monsters. But yeah, I think you can just type his last name in and it'll come up. Other than that, non-DC news, One World Under Doom started this week. I don't have any issues yet. I haven't gone to the shop. I haven't picked up anything. So like it's going to be like a post Raw purchase here. So hopefully they don't all sell out. But funny enough, there is a Mignola variant for One World Under Doom, and so I'll be getting that as long as I can find one. So
I got the Clayton Crane.
oh, the Dino Doom, the Doomasaur.
Yeah, I love me some Clayton Crane. If I see him again, I'm gonna have him sign it.
That's awesome. That's so cool. So yeah, so that's what we got, and that's pretty much it. So on to this week's selections. We did have one new book come out, and then we had all of all of the printings come out this week. This was the big DC, I'm calling it the DC catch-up day. And that's catch-up as in, run and catch up to the actual storyline, but also could be catch-up the condiment, because all of the covers for at least the issue ones were red.
Red. There's a lot of red. Like, all of them had red for the most part.
Yeah, so it's kind of a theme, I guess, with these re-releases, which is pretty cool. So you did have Batman 1, 2, and 3 re-release. You had Wonder Woman 1, 2, and 3 re-release, and Superman 1 and 2. Just 1 and 2, right? I think so. Yeah, just 1 and 2.
My shop had every one of them except Batman 1, and I was going to buy another Batman 1.
And all the number 1s are the Jim Lee variants. So,
yes.
So this one, well, you know what? I got it right here. 50 subscribers, and we're doing a giveaway. 50 subscribers, and we're doing this bad boy right here. Now, this is the original Jim Lee variant from Absolute Superman issue 1. We will give it away for free. I love giving stuff away because it gets stuff out of this office. So I'm all in on that. So it's that cover, but red and black. It reminds me of a Street Fighter parody Pete Holmes did with Thomas Middleditch, and they were asking him, he was dressed as Ken from Street Fighter, and he goes, "What is the difference between you and Ryu?" And Thomas Middleditch goes, "Well, I'm red." And so that was it.
Oh wow.
So yeah. But anyway, so yeah, all those covers had some kind of a red tinge to them, which was pretty cool. And then we had New Gods issue 1 second printing come out this week as well. But the big one this week, big as in the only new book, and big as in this book was a big deal, was Absolute Batman number 5. I know the one book you look forward to out of all these the most. And go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was going to say, and as always, you're going to take the review this week.
Got to take it.
For Batman. And so without further ado, I'd say, are you ready to get into it? All right.
Yeah. Sorry, I got distracted here. My the NASCAR. Did someone already wreck? All my bets are cooked.
Yeah, I don't know if someone's wrecked, but they're stopped. I don't know if it's raining or what's going on.
I don't know. I've seen William Byron's car on like a platform over here. What are we doing?
Oh God!
For the people watching us on Tuesday who were like, "What are we talking about?" It is Sunday. It's the NASCAR races on. Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to our
NASCAR season is here. It's the Daytona 500. It's a distracting day for all of us.
Yeah.
So. We live in. By the way, we've said it before. We live in North Carolina, and that's like it's hard to explain how much of a thing it is down here. But it's like part of the economy around here. So we all
boogity boys.
We all watch it. But anyway, all right. Well, let's rock and roll, and we will get right into it with the rundown and Absolute Batman number 5. All right. Before my man gets started, let's just do a quick overview. Absolute Batman number 5 dropped. Scott Snyder on the writing duties, and Nick Dragotta, as always, on the super hardcore art this week, and I put on here that they gave us the most brutal issue of Batman that I have seen in years, and without saying anything else, my man, it's all yours.
Let's get it. So, and you feel free to jump in.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, spoiler alert.
We gotta talk spoiler. We gotta say spoiler alert. Even though I'm gonna put it at the beginning of the video, it's your last warning. Batman number 5, Absolute Batman number 5, spoiler alert. Ding dong.
Ding, ding, dong.
Hit it.
Whatever, that's okay. Hurricane's coming. So jump in whenever you want in case I missed something. So this book is pretty straightforward compared to all the other ones we've had so far. There's one main thread, and there's maybe like 2-3 little small threads going as we go. But the book starts off with, what do you call those? It's like a page where it's just something that's not even connected to the main story. Is there a special thing for that?
I don't know.
No, it's just one page, and it's basically I could be wrong. I could be flipping some stuff. Bruce is younger. It's the funeral of his father. Um, Gordon wants to speak with Bruce, and he basically there's some nice, beautiful artwork, beautiful panels, and
Touching.
very touching.
Yeah, very touching.
And Gordon's like, "Hey, we're gonna tear the zoo down. You never have to see it again." So that's like a start for us. And then, and I may be jumping again. Another little thread that's happening is, uh, Bruce's mom goes to see Gordon, and he apologizes to her about the mayoral campaign, the race, whatever, because we know that Harvey had defected from Gordon and whatever. So she's like, "Ah, don't worry about it." But he really wasn't talking about that. He was basically saying because the light had been turned off at the last issue. It was Ham, right? Ham's like, "Hey, we're not lighting that beacon because whatever." So that's kind of a little piece with the zoo and the light, and then we go straight into Batman. And we spent this whole, and it's the episode that didn't even get announced, was it, Travis? One that we lost about Batman making the decision to join,
It was
to take the money.
It was the lost episode. Yeah,
The lost episode. Yeah. So we did a lot of debating, and this book immediately just shut all that up from us immediately. So we see Batman is on the way to meet with Roman, and Alfred's like spying on him yet again. And I think he's like saying like, "Oh, is he gonna break the deal? Is he not?" Batman's going through with it.
He's making the best decision ever.
Yeah, like he's hyping it up, whatever. Then he goes, and then Batman shows up, and it's $2 million. Is that our? We got to make these things public.
200.
Like 200 million. Yeah, this is like NBA contract. It's got to be out there. So he's come to make the deal, and then you find out after all the long debating, Batman's not taking that money, and back to the beacon, the light. It is turned on, and Bruce has put all the money, and that's why they made that logo so huge, so that the money could make the logo so huge. So it's his Batman light up in the sky.
Chunk Bat.
And yes, and so then Roman realizes, okay, he's not taking the deal. So then Batman just starts wreaking havoc, fighting the party animals. There's banter going back and forth between Roman and Batman and all that such.
It is a brutal fight.
It's brutal. Batman loses his I don't even know what we call it. His
chest plate, the battle axe.
Chest plate. That's battle axe that goes with one guy picks up like this is nice or whatever. He's getting his butt whooped. But he does get close enough to Roman. We find out why that's a little important later. But then does he get like thrown off the building? What happens?
So he does a lot of stabby, does a lot of breaky, and then he gets netted.
The net.
Yeah, he gets hit with a net, and then they do a lot of stabby.
Well, so while he's fighting, Roman's like, "Hey, I don't care about anybody," because during the banner, then Roman just starts shooting in on his own people. So Batman's beating them up, and now he's like, "Hey, save yourselves."
Yeah,
he's on two things at once. Because then Roman just goes crazy. He don't care about his people, so he just starts shooting in on them, trying to stop the bat, obviously. And then he gets netted. And then, he get taught? Something happens.
Set on fire.
He gets set on fire. I forgot that. Oh my gosh, they set my man on fire. Brutal.
It's brutal. It's a brutal issue.
He sets him on fire. And the whole time Alfred is watching, is he not?
Yeah, pretty much,
So at this point, he's aware that he didn't take the deal. And then so now Alfred starts bad-mouthing whatever and stuff like that. And then we find out, but Bruce, after he gets burned, I can't remember. How does he gets sent off the building or something?
Yeah, so
he gets away.
Yeah, so I think he just, I don't know
if he jumps.
He might jump. I'm not sure,
okay.
But his little thingies turn into a little parachute.
Yeah,
he lands very well.
No, he lands on a car. Okay, I'm picturing now. Yeah, he lands on a car. He's out of it or whatever. And then Roman's obviously upset. So then Batman goes back to the Batcave, whatever. And during that process, Roman now takes over like a national broadcast, I guess, or in Gotham at least. And Batman hasn't made the deal. He's trying to show like, hey, Gotham is falling apart type thing. Talking about all the rich people who keep making money and y'all keep following this system where you keep working and you're like the slaves, you're getting nothing out of it. So I offer you basically to become part of the party animals. And is it Gordon? I think Gordon opens up a box and it's like, hey, this is the mask, the weapons, whatever. And he's just like, hey, why? You can have money too. So why don't you join us and do that?
Hundreds
So
of millions up at
hun-
stake since Batman
yeah,
didn't
it's
take
100
the
million
deal.
something since he didn't take it. Yeah, but he just burnt it all.
Yeah.
And it was cool. So as the panels go, you see the money, the bat logo gets less and less.
Yeah.
But again, it's kind of nice because he was using that light, but now that light's back to full effect again. Now that the bat logo's out of the way, so I thought that was kind of nice.
Yeah.
And then while that's all taking place, and Gordon realized we have a problem, Batman is back at his Batcave or whatever his place. And he's just destroyed. His body's cut.
Oh, you forgot he got hit by a car.
Oh, he got hit by he landed on a car, and then he got hit. Oh,
because the
Gordon.
police.
Well, it was Barbara, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Barbara.
Barbara hits
Yeah.
her. They're looking for him, and then
she really,
man,
she plowed over him.
So by the point he's back to take care of himself, you're like, he's done. He met. You're thinking, okay, because we debated this. He didn't take the deal, so we feel better about it. But he's like, at what cost? Because dude is mangled. He's beat up. So then Alfred shows up and is like, hey, Alfred, you want to help patch me up? And Alfred's like, no, I could sew you up 100 different ways or something like that. And I'm like, dude, Batman is down bad. But then we find out Batman did get close enough to put a tracker on Roman. So then it's like, okay, was successful at something. That was his goal. Batman will take his beating to get what he's got to get. So we know he's got a tracker on Roman, so that leads us to believe going forward he's gonna that's his up on Roman. He's gonna have that. That's pretty much it. Like I said, it's a straightforward book.
Yeah, there's not a lot to unpack here.
No, there's not a lot at all. It's just him fighting, not taking the deal, getting his butt whooped. He got the tracker there, and then the party. Roman is growing his army. We'll see who takes him up on his deal, and that kind of sets us forward for the next storyline,
which I believe is the finale.
6 is the finale of the first arc, the zoo.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we go back. We went back to Alfred again. So I forgot this part. We go back to Gordon and Bruce again at the. I guess it might have been right at their funeral. Bruce runs back up to him. Is like, "Hey, I don't want the zoo to be gone.
Right.
I want the light or something, or to be a. I don't know if he
beacon.
says the light, a beacon, right? Yeah. So that's how we know we got the light to begin with.
Yep.
And then he obviously just used it
to be the bat
money
signal.
To be the bat signal with all that money. It was great. I was like, I was reading. I just laughed to myself. Like, me and Travis debated this whole decision.
Oh, we spent like 40 minutes on it.
The next issue back in the storyline, he's burning the money. Everything burns. And yeah, so Batman's our guy. He didn't betray us. He did what he got to do. So
which I like this even better because he's broke. I mean, he doesn't have any money, which is cool. You know,
there was a line where he says, "I have everything I need. I'm Batman." I think that's what he said.
Yeah.
I'm just me, and that's enough. I don't need anything else.
Yeah,
it's
pretty great. My personal like kind of chuckle moment, because there weren't a lot of them in this issue. My personal chuckle moment was when when Barbara runs him over with that car. His cowl flies off.
I forgot all about it.
Yeah, his cowl flies off, and he's like trying to climb down into the sewers, and she says, "Stop, or I'll shoot." And he goes, "Well, then do it."
Yeah,
it's so good.
So he gets up there. He's beating him up. He starts taking a beating. He then gets lit on fire. He then falls off onto a car. Then he gets hit by a car. And then in our world, Alfred's supposed to take care of him. And this Alfred's like, nah, I could, but I won't. Dude is down bad. All this for a tracker, and he lost all the money.
It was a heck of an issue. So yeah, I guess the big thing here is, and you really covered it all. I mean, really, it's like I said, there wasn't a lot to unpack outside the story here. There's not a lot to wonder other than, where does he go from here, right? So, obviously he has the tracker, but I don't know how long it's going to take him to recover from this, because I haven't seen. It's something I don't know. Snyder beat the holy hell out of Bruce numerous times in his run, but the one I always remember is how badly he was beaten when he first faced the court, and he was like drugged and going crazy inside the maze and stuff. This was brutal. I mean, and he was really dishing it out there for a minute. And then everything just flipped on its head. I'm pretty sure the police were shooting at him too at some point.
Yeah.
It was wild. So yeah, not much to unpack. Like, ramification. There are ramifications here because he is seriously hurt, and now we are talking about potentially anybody that wants to going to grab a mask and have access to the weapons that the party animals are using, and and we've seen that happen in Batman before. That's not new. Kind of calling the less than desirable element, the criminal element, even from as low as petty thieves and stuff in Gotham, to a cause where to try to incite violence. We've seen that in the movies. We've seen that in other Batman stories. That's not really a new thing, and some people may see that as a drawback. They may say, "Oh, well, we've done this before." Get all the criminals and people and stuff, and not even criminals, just people who are down on their luck and try to get them to turn. But I am interested to see what the wrinkle will be because there will be one. Part of me feels like something's going to happen with those masks, all those masks that are in those boxes. I don't know. It just feels like once they start, they won't be able to stop. Or something along those lines. Because this version of Black Mask is crazy. I mean, Black Mask is always crazy, but this is by far the most high stakes.
Well, because we haven't we've seen a piece of it, but like the Joker, he's almost like he was shooting on his own people.
Yeah. Just
to prove a point to Batman, like I don't care about people. Yeah, he's psycho.
Yeah.
He's crazy.
It's crazy. Super crazy. So, it's going to be interesting. This was a fun read. You know what I mean? It's like I said, I really enjoy sometimes in a book not having to try to decipher what's going to happen. Sometimes I like just strapping in and going for the ride for however many pages it is. You know what I mean? And this was another example of that. And I like that because this book has been a little bit of both, right? Where Superman has been almost nothing but like, what is happening? What's going on behind the scenes?
A lot of build-up.
A lot of moving pieces, a lot of stuff you're not seeing happening, all kinds of crazy stuff going on. And Wonder Woman has been a very straightforward read. This one has been kind of a mixture of the two, right? And this was a great way to come back from that origin that sort of origin story that we got in issue 4. So I guess my big question then is, what's your rating out of 5?
Ooh. 4.5.
4.5. Yeah. It was entertaining. Like, it sometimes like not all 4.5s are created equal, I would say. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you can get a 4.5 and have no action. But this was a 4.5 because it was impossible to stop reading.
Oh yeah, like I said, like we already said, there's not too many threads. It was pretty straightforward. We were in it, like going. I think what holds it back, I don't want to say holds it back from getting the 5, and it's our fault or it's my fault. And maybe we should have known that this arc was only 6, but I really thought like the next issue was going to be like this Batman strategically figuring out a way to use the $200 million to actually do something. I think is what my expectations were. I did not expect it to just be, hey, I'm burning it. I'm not taking your deal. Like it was so quick to me. I think I expected more storytelling, more stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it went against my expectations, but even still, it was fantastic.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. I think you can. I think it can still be at 4.5 issue with that one thing because I think maybe he's thinking that 200 million is going to be a dent in what their resources are. I don't know. They haven't even hinted at something like that, and from what I understand or from what they've kind of made it out to be, that it probably wouldn't be too much of a dent. You know what I'm saying? It immediately. It was like the first thing that happened was the money was gone.
Well, and another thing to think about, and it's something it just popped in my head, the money. Roman just threw all the weapons and stuff out as like to join him, but also the bat signal was also a way to maybe have Batman gather some trust and people to join his side.
And potentially
it was money
scare
that
people.
He burned. Right, yeah, money that he had burned it, didn't care. Maybe people may find the honor in that.
Yeah.
And there's also a way of gathering in the same way Roman is, people to help out.
Yep. And, people see that bat symbol in the sky. They might be like, yeah, this guy's offering a bunch of money, but I'm not trying to get my ass kicked.
Yeah.
Yeah. I ain't trying to get bones broken, bro.
Right.
And this dude's got knives. This Batman's got knives.
Oh, and then I've left out the little part of I can't remember. It's the part where I think he's also with the doctor. I may have mixed some things up. I'm sure we read it for this. He goes to the doctor and gets a shot. It was after the zoo because
that was the very beginning.
The very beginning before the little funeral stuff. And then at the end, I think it went back to it and it said bats, or maybe in the start, bats are infectious.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think that goes back to that symbol being up there. That may be
of that first hey,
he may attract other people for this cause as well for him. So I thought that was a nice little piece.
Yeah, so I agree. I think there's I think there's some really cool things that happen here. I'm sort of bummed if the 6th is the final issue of this. We know it's supposed to be the final issue of the arc, but if this is the last that we're getting of this ongoing Black Mass thing,
it was too quick. That's again,
longer.
That was my issue here with. I thought there was gonna be more to go with this story, but I should have thought about it. The zoo we knew was only gonna be through 6 issues, 5 taking out the 1.
Yeah.
It may just come to an end. Maybe he's gonna track him.
Yeah, maybe
beat him up, and that's it.
Maybe it'd be worth it. I don't know. I just feel like if we had just one more issue, and you know what? Hey, maybe that's because they're doing things right? Like if we're sitting here and being like, I want one more. I just want one more. Like give me one extra issue, and maybe that's because we're all buying into it the way we should be right now. So yeah, great issue. 4.5. I got no problem with that at all. That's a solid rating for a. I think this is maybe one of the most brutal Bat books I have read in a minute. That was the whole fight scene was just, whew.
That's good.
Nick Dragotta, who uses a lot of blue, used quite a bit of red.
Yeah, well, he's done that red before. Because again, we just didn't have his art in the last one. It was nice to have him back.
Yeah,
because for this Batman, it really works.
Yep.
And we did get to see it did make its special appearance. We had the Dumpmobile.
He was sitting in front of it. I think he had the lights turned on.
Yeah,
and he was trying to patch himself up.
I'm telling you, make me a Lego set, please. I'm buying it.
It's so massive.
It's so big.
Yeah, I love it. So, well, all right, man. Anything else on this issue? It was a great issue. I was pumped about it. I loved it. Anything you want to add to it?
No, fantastic, great action. We'll see what 6 holds for us.
Yep, now we just got to wait another month. And speaking of waiting another month, let's talk about the upcoming schedule. Now that we got all of those February 12th releases off of the upcoming schedule, we've got room for actual books, like actual new books. So obviously I don't want to cut anything out for you guys, and so I was kind of like, man, these February 12th are taking up the whole slot. And so I'm very glad that we finally got through those, and now we can talk about all of the craziness that's getting ready to happen, and how the Absolute Universe is getting ready to double in size coming up here in a few short weeks. So coming up next week, well, I'm sorry, not next week, this week now, on the 19th, we've got New Gods 2, second printing, and New Gods 3. So anybody that missed out on New Gods 2, go ahead and grab that. I am telling you all, even if you don't care about the Absolute Universe, if you just like DC, and if you like something a little different, New Gods is so good, and I'm including it because anything that needs to do with Darkseid, probably want to talk about alongside the Absolute Universe.
I still got to read them. I still haven't stopped and read them yet.
Yeah, they only talk about him. There's nothing, because he's gone. Darkseid's dead officially. Darkseid is dead officially. Officially.
You can never say officially in the comic universe of anything ever.
He's dead. He only created a whole universe on his way out that's just filled with whatever he was. So there's an imbalance, right? Because kind of like Thanos is always talking about balance, perfectly balanced, all these things, right?
The perfect scale.
Right. Darkseid is dark. High Father is light, and this series is dealing with the fallout of that one side dying, and because he died, we
Officially.
officially we we get this wild kind of struggle and this wild kind of and I'm not going to spoil all that much, but this wild kind of struggle and this imbalance that we're getting with the new gods, and so something has to fill the void, right? And that's where we're getting Karakator. I'm not sure if he's the person that they're trying to fill that void with, but he is a bad mamma jamma. So, yeah. So, just first appeared in that second issue. So if you want to get that first appearance and you can't get a first printing, you can pick it up on the second printing. This is a great series, and I think it's limited. I looked on previews and it said it was of 12, so I think it might be a limited series. That's unfortunate because I feel like Ram V, like, the new gods are not an easy subject to understand. Kirby really went like all in when he came to DC and created the new gods. It's a huge kind of, it's its own kind of thing. I mean, it's just it's there's a lot that goes into it. I'm not a new gods expert by any stretch. I do love the new gods though, and why wouldn't I? I love Jack Kirby, and if you don't, I don't know what you're doing here. You got things you got to work through if you're going to read comics and not love Jack Kirby. I don't know what to tell you. We need to talk about it. So this, I feel like this really does do it justice. I feel like Ramvi has absolutely done his homework here and really has a great understanding of the new gods, and so I'm excited for you to read it most of all because it's something I think you'll dig. It's different. It's
We
cool.
might have snow days this week, so I'll definitely be. If I have time, I will dive into those because they're on my list.
It's definitely. I'll say this: anybody I know that's read it, I haven't heard anybody say it's not good. Let's just put it that way. Anybody that I've talked to that has read it have all been, even reviewers. Everybody that's read it have been like, this is fantastic. It is awesome. And it will obviously have implications. Ranvi has already said it. It's the new god, so it has implications on every universe in DC, because they're the new gods. So we've got issue 2 second printing coming out on the 19th, and issue 3. So I'm super excited about that. I am ready to get to that third issue. I cannot wait. And then the following week, we've got Absolute Wonder Woman number 5. So we're going to get some more update on Wonder Woman and that big old sword. Excited about that.
Slice and dice.
Slice and dice. She is a problem. She right now, I think, we don't know about time frames on these books. We don't know if they're running simultaneously, if they're running at different time periods or what. More on that later. We don't know about that. So I don't know where she is right now in the timeline, but if these are all existing at the same time, she has got to be the most powerful of the 3 right now.
Well, that's something we should talk about. Obviously, it's the Absolute Universe, so we know these 3 are together. They are in the same universe, so they're on the same Earth, right? I mean, that was.
Do we know? Clear. I mean, well, there are going to be multiple Earths in the same universe, certainly.
Right.
So it's an interesting question.
We don't know.
Right.
So we don't know. Okay, so that's a question. We don't know that. And then again, we don't know where they, like you just said, link up side by side.
Are these the same year? And if I'm missing that, then I'm just not paying enough attention. But hey, I'm busy, man. We all got things to do. We got kids.
We should see. We need like a little panel, like in the background of like Superman or Batman, a TV screen of what's happening with Wonder Woman. Like just something, this little piece, let us know.
Yeah.
They'll be like, hey, this is
just something. Spot. Just something on the news waves, right? Because we know they're all taking place in different like locations, right?
Right.
But Wonder Woman's on the West Coast, Batman's on the East Coast, Superman is wherever.
Wherever. But as you were saying, once they are like if they in the same place or whatever. She's the one.
Yeah,
like she's going to fold anybody.
Yeah, she feels like the biggest problem for anybody right now. Like because I just don't. I feel like this Superman is raw. Like I think he's like. I think it's again. And maybe that's the point, right? Like maybe this Superman needs to figure himself out a little bit. And I don't know, man. I read the preview, and I think I sent you a little snippet of it for
Yeah.
Absolute Superman #5, and it doesn't seem like we're getting more present. I feel like we're going back in time again. Um,
Back. It's probably gonna be all Krypton and
yeah, which I'm here for. I'm all for
well,
that.
yeah. Well, we got to close
But
that chapter.
yeah, but
But again, we've not even gotten to anywhere on Earth.
yeah, like Homeboy just shot a bunch of civilians, and Superman's gonna lose his gourd.
Yeah.
But we're gonna go back to Krypton. It's so like I'm fine with it. I trust Jason Aaron, and this every issue has been really good, and he made Jimmy Olsen cool again. So I'm here for it.
Again.
Well, he made Jimmy Olsen cool. Let's just say that. He made
I'm
Jimmy
just
Olsen,
joking.
He made Jimmy Olsen awesome. So who knew Jimmy Olsen could fight? But anyway, so yeah, so we got. I'm with you. If the three of them are together, she's the one that you're feeling like is going to fold anybody right now because she is something else. Witchy Wonder Woman is my jam. I'm all for it. So it's like I think we talked about this on a previous episode. It's like they took some of the best like things about the JL Dark, with some of the magic and with like some of the otherworldly things, and took regular Wonder Woman and then just stuck them together. It's like it's really cool. So we've got that on the 26th, and then on the 5th of March, which is going to be the big month. Everybody knows everything's going to double. So we've got Absolute Superman #5 on the first week of March. For now, it still has its own week. And did we confirm that it's the 5th, or has it been bumped back again, or was it bumped back to the 12th?
I don't know. I remember we said the 12th would be the bump back day if it was.
Yeah,
That's all I know we
I'm
said.
gonna take a look there, but
Or
I
was it?
may
Yeah.
have an old date on here. Let me see, delay. Let me just look at this.
Oh, that's so weird.
Okay, yeah, so it will be delayed. So now, if you're watching this on YouTube, just ignore that 3/5 date. We're getting Superman and Batman on the same week next month.
Oh yeah, you did say that. I think.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
said their two are together.
Yep.
And
Just
then,
next
yeah.
month, because I think Superman's supposed to go back to its own week the following month, and so I think it'll be on the April single digit, whatever that will be. And ignore that 3/5. It's Absolute Superman #5 and Absolute Batman #6 on 3/12. So we're getting both of them. That's gonna be a fun episode.
It's so fun.
Yeah,
Two
that's
books.
gonna, yeah,
Woo!
and it's my favorite and your favorite so far. So this is gonna be fun. And then on 3/19 we got a busy day again. 3/19 we got New Gods #4, and then we have Absolute Green Lantern #1 and Absolute Flash #1.
I'm excited to add new ones.
We have not discussed who's gonna cover what book yet. We've kind of been putting it off. Hoping that we don't have to make the decision right now.
I mean, you're Green Lantern more than anything, right?
Yeah, I am.
But you want Flash too, probably.
I'm down for all of them. I don't care which ones we take, but
There's
yeah,
6, so we gotta do 3. We gotta do a draw. We gotta do a whole episode as a draft.
yeah.
Everyone come
we
back
should.
for the
we should
absolute draft.
The absolute draft, and yeah. So we're gonna do the absolute draft, and I'll put a board up in the background or something, and yeah, we'll figure it out. Maybe I'm not gonna play Mario Kart and Smash to see who gets to pick the book. You'll just be doing 6 reviews. Yeah. But we got a lot happening. The beginning of the expansion is starting, and yeah, I'm ready to add more books because this has been so much fun. So of all of the release schedule, what do you like? We all know, like we've been a part of this for long enough now to know that Philly is all about Absolute Batman. But we all know you're excited about that. Outside of Absolute Batman, though, what are you most looking forward to of this list?
Well, I mean, I keep saying Martian, the Manhunter, which I definitely am, but you just said Green Lantern and Flash same day.
Yeah.
Like, that's just going to be so exciting. 2 books. And again, for me, we've had this conversation before. I'm Batman. I'm some dark DC stuff. I'm not huge DC, but like I'm excited for Green Lantern and the Flash in 1 week. Like, that's crazy because that's
It's a
just
great
not my
combo,
it's not
too.
my thing.
It's a classic kind of combo too.
And I'm excited to just add more characters and see. I really am a sucker for a different take on a character. I like something a little different, and now we're gonna get 3 more. Just they got me. They
And
got me.
it just feels like all of these characters are having to work so much harder than we're used to seeing them work.
Yes.
They are definitely the underdogs, and so even on this slide, you can see that Green Lantern is sitting on top of a pile of something, and I'm not sure if it's robots or people or what, but our new Green Lantern, which I don't know that we've been given a lot of info on it yet. I haven't seen much. Most of the info has been from Jeff Lemire and the Flash. Um, I am so excited to see Jeff Lemire write this because I really do think that he's kind of been waiting in the wings for this. Not that Lemire has not done major things in comics, but I think he's been heavily involved with the Absolute Universe from the start. I think that he is going to be this next big addition to this lineup of really great writers they've got working on this, and I am very, very, very excited to see what Jeff Lemire does with the Flash because he seems to be he seems to be integral he seems to be an integral part of what they're trying to do long term here with the Absolute Universe. So, as much as I am a Green Lantern guy, I'm actually mostly probably excited for New Gods 3 and 4 on this list.
Really?
It's so good, and the art is unbelievable. So yeah, I'm all in on that right now. But if we're talking just strictly absolute titles, most excited for probably Superman #5. If we are actually if it is a Krypton book, I'm in.
Do we? Because we know the Batman. Because we've been back and forth on this. The Batman arc was 6 issues. Is the Superman arc 6 issues or 5? Because it didn't have like a.
I don't know, and Aaron hasn't said anything about it.
If it is, which I don't think it is, but Batman 6 and Superman 5, 2 arcs closing, like at the same week. That's pretty big if that's the case, but I don't know if it is.
Yeah, I don't know if they're doing it the same way or not. I know that Scott has said that he wants to keep. He said the arcs, and I don't know if the arcs meant the Batman arcs or if it meant all of the arcs.
Right. Well, he did say, and maybe I sent this to you, or maybe sent it to me, like he did have like 21 issues. Snyder has said more about this Batman run than the other guys have said about theirs. I feel like.
Yeah.
Because he's announced when other characters may show up, whatever. So he definitely has more of a plan that's kind of been out there, whereas these other ones, like I don't know. I just thought they'd follow the same suit, like it'd be 5 or 6 or whatever.
Yeah. They might. But they also may let the creators do what they want here. I mean, I think here's my thing. Like whether you're Scott Snyder or whoever, because Scott has already said that he will likely stay on for consulting purposes on this, even if he leaves Batman and doesn't continue to write it, that he will likely stay on to consult for the Absolute Universe and for DC's future, which is I think money well spent for DC. I think DC has done some very smart things, both in their live media, their animation media, and their comic media over the last couple of years. Not everything has been a hit, right? But they hit a lot more than they miss, And so I think if you're Scott Snyder and you're sitting there and Jason Aaron walks into the office and says, "Hey, I don't want to do 5 issues. I just want to write it how I want to write it." Are you gonna say no?
Right. Yeah.
Are you gonna say no to Jason Aaron, who wants to write his Superman the way he wants to write it? And so I don't know. I haven't seen anything that has said, we're only going to keep it to 5 issues on every series, or 6 issues, or however we do it. I haven't seen that. I just know that Scott had said that previously. I don't think he really said whether it was just for Batman or for everything else. I think he just said arcs. So we'll see. I'm excited to see what happens. I obviously have said that a million times, but yeah, I think Absolute Superman, especially if we're getting another Krypton issue, I need more Lara. So much. Like I'm
that
here
big
for it.
gun,
Yeah,
baby.
man. She's so awesome. So super ready and excited for that, and we'll see what happens there. As far as the new books, I think the one I'm most excited for, I'm telling you, if Jeff Lemire wasn't writing The Flash, it would probably be Absolute Green Lantern, but I'm really interested to see what's going to happen with Jeff Lemire in this Flash book. And once we get to the news, you'll see why.
Well, what? Okay, go ahead. I won't. I'll hold what I was going to say then.
All right. Well, on that note, let's go to the news. Okay. So, the only news that we have this week has to do with Jeff Lemire and the Flash. And Jeff, in his newsletter this week that goes out to his fans and his subscribers for his newsletter, mentioned that the first real hint of a crossover of when we're finally going to see the Absolutes start to interact with each other will actually occur at the end of Flash #1. So if you weren't already excited about it, bingo! Absolute Flash #1 is the book to be excited about, I think.
Buy copies.
Buy copies. Yep.
Yeah.
And it said that the first hint of a crossover is going to occur at the end of Flash #1, and that will be steadily leaning into Free Comic Book Day, which we all know is going to be a big deal. We're going to get a reveal of some kind of bad guy, and we're going to get, you know, the free book that's coming out from DC on Free Comic Book Day is going to be half and half, and it's going to be half Absolute Universe and half the new Superman series from Dan Slott, which is kind of
I
cool.
hope we don't have to like flip it around again. I feel like that might be the thing. Too confusing.
I know they're excited about Dan Slott writing Superman, and I'm excited about reading it. Be interested to see how it goes. You know, I know that's not this show, but you know, he's been on Spider-Man for so long, and so I know they're excited about it. It is Dan Slott, right?
I think so.
Yeah, Superman Unlimited, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I think that my favorite thing about this book is that Raphael Albuquerque is doing the art. So, yeehaw! I'm excited.
And so that's what I was going to ask you, because on the little image there we see our guy
Wally.
He's struggling.
Yeah.
Like something's happening, and I was just thinking, for some reason, just me knowing Flash, or me thinking I know Flash, I guess. Do you think this book will be a little more? I think they're all going to be like dark type. That's the absolute thing, but a little more fun, a little more less, because like Batman is very heavy, it's dark. Everyone's going to die in Gotham, basically. Superman, very. I mean, they're all very dark. Wonder Woman,
right.
same thing. I feel like. Do you think one of these, if not, will have a little more fun to it? I guess a little more hope in it. I don't know if that's the word I'm looking for. Or are they all just going to be everyone's in turmoil, everything's destruction around them?
I think no.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is I think that's the point. I think when Darkseid officially died, he created this universe, and every fabric of him is built into this universe. And so I think, and you know, not for nothing, that could be a drawback for a reader. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
For a reader to pick up this book or one of these books every single week, and like us reading all of these books every week, it is going to be the hits just keep on coming kind of thing, you know, because like, is there going to be any reprieve here from this overwhelming kind of like cloud of negativity that's going to be hanging over that? It's supposed to be this way, right? This universe is of Darkseid. So are we going to get a reprieve from that? I think you can do it in unique ways, honestly.
Right. So I guess I'm thinking Flash. I think is Flash a little more naive as the other characters, and will it be the same way here? Whereas
I'm hoping so. This picture doesn't inspire a lot of confidence.
Right. So when I saw that, I was like, yeah, I think everything's gonna still be the same type of thing. But initially when I thought Flash was coming, okay, this is gonna be like our fun, like little.
I might have a different definition of fun, but it doesn't look like Wally's having a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't. So I think he's gonna be in the same, the same type serious level as all the other ones.
Yeah, we'll see. You know, I think a lot of it is going to be built around the character, and so far the most fun book you would say would have to be Wonder Woman, and that's because of not Wonder Woman, but everybody else. You know, like Steve. Steve is the most fun character we've had. Like that'll elicit a laugh. It's probably Steve. So it'll be interesting to see. I think it's going to be tough because I think that by and large, I'm with you on this. Flash books and outside of Flashpoint, Flash books and Green Lantern books by nature of who they are. Even Barry, Wally, Hal, Guy. They're not like they're typically like serious characters, but they are also kind of lighthearted and kind of fun. So I hope that we can keep some of that. I know that hope is in short supply in this universe, but that could if we don't see some kind of palate cleanser,
Right.
it's going to feel very Game of Thrones. Like, and I'm not talking about the ending of Game of Thrones. I'm talking about literally there were times in Game of Thrones where you would throw your hands up and say nothing good ever happens. I don't like anybody anymore. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
nothing good happens. Yeah, it's a great TV show. Yeah, it's awesome. Cool. I hate it. I don't want to watch this anymore. All I do is get mad at it. Right?
I didn't have that issue, but even still. Uh, but yeah, and that's just that was just where I was thinking, are we going to get? Because at this point, again, we already talked about how if they're in on the same Earth, same time period type deal, do you? I don't see any of them working together at this moment because they're all kind of the same. Maybe
Right.
like Batman is so solo. Even with the people, I mean, I guess he's Alfred to patch him up, but for the most part, he's solo throughout the whole series. Superman solo. Wonder Woman will work with others. I feel like she's the only one who would. But then if we're also going down the same realm with with Wally and those guys, if they're going to be a little more different.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I think Martian Manhunter has the opportunity to be kind of fun.
That you think that one can be a little
I think it can, and I mean
less.
fun in the sense of, you know how Loki, the TV series, you know how it's
Hmm.
fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's fun. I feel like Martian Manhunter could be that. I feel
Okay.
with the art style of what we're seeing so far, of just like the little bit that we're seeing, I feel like it could be fun. It could be. I don't know
Mhm.
though, but it seems like quirky enough that it could actually be kind of fun.
Right.
It was, and I've said from the beginning, I thought it was an interesting choice to go from Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. Obviously, you would think Flash and Green Lantern would come very soon after,
Right.
but then to take the left turn and go Martian Manhunter, could you have gone another direction? Do people want another Aquaman book? Do people, you know what I mean? Like, could you have gone, you know, could you have gone to like, I don't know. It's not a bad decision. I actually like it. I think it's an interesting choice. But I think it was a choice that caught some people off guard a little bit. That people were kind of surprised that they went Martian Manhunter.
I'm glad we did over Aquaman. I'm just not a big Aquaman fan. It's not.
Yeah, so I don't know. It'll be interesting. But yeah, I'm excited that Lemire has kind of hinted. It kind of makes Flash #1 feel even more of a big deal. Feel like even more of a big deal for us in March. So I think that one, if we're not talking about Superman being the book I'm most looking forward to, it's that one, and it's just literally for this reason. And I'm ready to read some more Jeff Lemire, man. Dude can write a story, so I'm excited. So yeah, that's about it. I mean, we got Free Comic Book Day coming up. We're going to see these crossovers eventually happen, and you know, as far as crossovers with the main continuity, I don't know when that's going to happen. To be honest with you, I don't think DC's in any kind of a rush to do that right now.
Mm-mm.
Because it would be the most major publisher thing to do, right? Like, all right, they're popular, let's slam them together. Like,
Yeah.
I think that they're not. I could be wrong. I don't know anything, but you know, I could be. I feel like they're not in any rush to slam the two universes together just yet. I think they're more interested in probably.
Would that be the end game? Like, is that like once you do that, don't you feel like the absolute universe kind of dies as
Right,
individuals?
you get another crisis level event.
Yeah, like I feel like, and I don't want that. I want this to keep going as they are before they do that.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think I don't think you need to do it. I really don't until you
No.
absolutely have to. I mean, I think you can have little threads, right? You can have little threads that can sort of weave and connect the two, but I don't think you need to have a major event between these two universes for some time. I think you can just take it slow, spend your time fleshing these two universes out. Like, well, obviously the main universe is already it's got 75 years, 80 years of history, right? Take time on this. Do this the right way. cross it over within the universe.
Right.
Don't go crazy just yet. Let's just have fun with this and see where this goes. So yeah. So you excited? I'm excited.
Super. Like I said, it's madness. We got a full month of new books, new characters. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be busy. We got a lot of reading to do. We're gonna be doing a lot of talking. We're gonna be doing a lot of everything. So, yeah, well, that's all we had. I mean, it was still a decently long episode because there was quite a bit of discussion, and that was fun. I always love that's my favorite part of the show because even though we talk every day, we don't always get to talk in depth about this stuff.
And maybe other people watching have the same thoughts we have.
Yeah, leave us a comment. Put us a comment on Spotify if you're listening on Spotify, or comment down below on YouTube, and be sure to like and subscribe and share the show. We are always looking for any feedback, looking for any kind of comments, or if you just want to talk about what you're reading, and even if it's not the Absolute Universe, let's talk. Let's have fun because that's the beauty of this is being able to talk about it. It's our little slice of fun that we get to enjoy every week. I will also point out that two things we did not talk about it, even though I said it in the last episode, that the logo for the Flash was revealed before we went on for we never showed it, but the only thing is the new lightning bolt that is on Wally's chest is the S in the Flash on the logo, which is really cool, and it's a really neat looking lightning bolt. It's kind of like two little halves together. It's really neat. So you can go check that out and look it up. It's very cool. I don't have it handy right now. And then also we have we did not cover anything on the top 10 this week, and it's because no Absolute books on the top 10 this week.
Or 20.
Or 20, yeah. Top 10 or 20.
I think this was the first top 20 in a while that I didn't have any book.
You didn't have owned a single book on there?
I didn't have a single book in the top 20. I felt sad.
Yeah, I don't know if I do or not. Let me just take a little goosey gander here and see what we got.
I felt like I made mistakes. I never have a book on there. It's a mistake.
I have one.
Which one?
Two.
Ooh, look at you. Because I didn't buy the Super Spider-Man Friendly Neighborhood. I don't know why I didn't buy that.
Yeah, I bought that. That's the one.
I reached my limit. Yeah. I didn't buy it.
I got that one. Oh, I have that. I have that Avengers cover too. What is that? New Avengers 33, the Delato Doom cover. That's in the runners up. And then I have I absolutely have that Fantastic Four, that John Byrne with Galactus on it. Number 243. It's like one of my favorite
I have that Scott Campbell, but I don't have the variant. So take that. I just have the regular. So.
I love the I absolutely love the Scotty Young Bug Spray Spider-Man cover.
Yeah, I didn't have that. And I didn't get Scotty Young this week either. My shop didn't have it.
Oh.
Frog Venom.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
Yep. And this Dark Horse Presents annual is on here. I don't know what this is.
You don't have that?
I don't have it. I don't have it, but it's a Mignola. Mignola appears again on the show.
It's Hellboy. Look at that. Yeah.
It's a Hellboy book that I don't have right now, but I guess I'm going to have to find it. Top sell slab 9.8, $198. Good golly. So, looks like first comic book appearance of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, I'm so excited for that. Did you see the news? That's why it's popular? Oh, no. So she's coming back. They're redoing the series.
With Sarah Michelle Gellar?
Yes, that's why that's popping. They're redoing the series, so that makes sense. Ooh, I love me some Buffy. God, I love that series.
I've never watched a single episode.
Oh my! They used to be on FX every day. How could you not?
I know, but I used to. I never used to watch it at all. You know what I did watch though? I watched Angel.
Yeah, I believe it. You watched Angel and what's the girls?
Charmed,
which I also watched Charmed, but you were definitely watching Charmed.
Yeah, no, yeah. But this is not the same thing.
Buffy's great.
Yeah.
God, Buffy's great.
Yeah, I watched a little Charmed because it used to come on really early in the morning when you get ready for school. It'd be on TNT every morning, and yeah.
Buffy was always after school. I would watch.
Yeah.
I don't know what years those were because there's you can think about your childhood and like it used to be Pokemon when I came home, Yu-Gi-Oh. The mornings was like Carmen Sandiego or Max Steel. Those are things that were on. But there was a couple years where it was Buffy, and man, I know I've seen every episode.
Oh yeah, yep, yeah. I don't remember what I used to watch before I got to college, but like I remember during college, when I was in the mountains, we would come home from class, hang out for a little bit, and then we'd starting to like figure out what we were gonna make for dinner and stuff, and when we would just turn on. It was what used to be ABC Family, now it's whatever Freeform or whatever.
Freeform, yeah.
And they would play Still Standing, that sitcom, with the guy from Game of Thrones in it, who played Robert Baratheon.
I don't know that one.
Oh, it's really funny. It's actually really funny. It's not like it was never super famous or anything. It was like Reba and then Still Standing, and then
Reba, man.
and then after that, Gilmore Girls came on, and I never sat down to watch Gilmore Girls at all. But as it was always on because we would get up and go and cook, and then Gilmore Girls would come on while we were cooking, and so like when we were waiting for food, we'd just go and hang out in there, and it would be on, and eventually me and my roommates, me and Kyle, we got hooked. Like we got pulled into Gilmore Girls, and we were watching Gilmore
Wild.
It was like, oh, just leave it. And then eventually it was like, huh.
This was in college?
Yeah, this is in college.
Wow. I think there was only one thing I watched in college because basketball could never do TV, but I always made sure to watch Walking Dead.
Oh,
because
yeah.
I was late to Breaking Bad because I never had time to watch TV during those years, and then I caught Breaking Bad towards the end.
Yeah, Walking Dead started right when I was in college.
Yeah,
and we watched that. We watched that pretty much.
That was
live.
like the one thing I could get in was that. Make sure of that.
It's crazy, but yeah.
Look at us.
Reba
Absolute Universe and Memory Lane all in an episode.
So what happens when you know people for far too long.
Yeah.
But anyway, all right. Well, hey, that's all we got. So again, folks, like, subscribe, follow, do all that good stuff. You can find me on Instagram at TrekWars Comics. That's Trek, TREK. Wars, WARS. I'm spelling on the spot. That's never good. And then comics, TrekWars Comics. And then you can reach out to my guy, Mr. Phil, Mr. Rebel Recess on Instagram at rebel.recess. I know I put it in wrong on the previous video description, but it is fixed now. So at rebel.recess. Thank you guys so much for coming to hang out with us. All of the feedback has been super positive. So for everybody listening, we appreciate you all. Shout out to Left Arrows for doing all this hard work as far as keeping everybody informed, keeping everybody up to date on what's coming out and why it's important. I would never be able to keep up with this if we didn't have his Instagram as a resource. And hey, Left Arrows is not affiliated with this. I'm just telling you this because it's so useful. So shout out to Left Arrows for that. And so yeah, you guys can catch me Thursdays doing my little write-ups for the Shaker Show over at Cover Price on their YouTube channel. So be sure to go check them out. That team does a great job over there. And you can catch my guy over here doing streams just about every week.
We've been MIA recently.
Oh,
We've
okay.
been MIA.
You were on it for like a good couple months. You were back at it.
Lincoln's got baseball. He's got basketball. We're in that time where just too much at once.
Well,
but I'm trying. I'm gonna try to get on there this week.
Go subscribe and hit that bell icon, and you'll
watch
know when
old
he's
videos.
live. Yeah,
Just
or watch the old videos.
Yeah.
They're so much fun. There's fun. There's Pokemon pack openings, all kinds.
I'll be
of
back
good
on there
stuff.
soon.
Yeah, it's always fun. It's always a good time. You might even hear me screaming while we were playing Texas Chainsaw or something.
Oh my gosh.
I was screaming like a child. So yeah. All right, well, thanks everybody for coming out. Thanks for listening. We appreciate it as always. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and we will catch you next week on the Local Comic Podcast. Everybody have a good week. Peace out.
Later.